Good evening, Shotcaller Nation. It's your boys, the Shotcallers, back with this week's podcast episode. The date is August 12th, 2019. And as always, I got my boys with me. First on the far right, we got Rich,
Making his YouTube debut. What's up, everybody?
Damn.
Buckshot Bustos.
Oh, that's a good
And next to me, I got Andre Cool Whip West.
Cool Whip.
Cool Whip.
Is it Cool Whip or Cool Whip?
It's
Cool
Cool
Whip.
Whip.
Cool Whip West.
Say what's up, Andre.
What's up, y'all?
And we are back with some more NBA content. Let's kick it off with today's biggest news. NBA schedule just dropped. Some marquee dates on there. But before we jump into some of the matchups you guys are excited about seeing, let me talk about a couple of stats that came out based around the schedule. So, big change in the schedule. Back-to-backs have actually dropped to another historic low,
That's
down
good.
from 13.3 per team to 12.4. So, a whole game less, or a whole one
Pretty much,
back-to-back less per team. So that's really good. And then some of the West Coast games have actually gone to an earlier start time.
Yeah.
So a lot of those 10:30 Eastern start times for you people in the East Coast that have to stay up till 2 a.m. to finish watching the Portland Warriors game. It's gonna end a
Right.
little bit sooner.
Clippers, Denver, all that
yeah.
West Coast stuff.
Yeah. So either 30 or an hour earlier start time. So that's
Yeah.
really good news.
I really appreciate that, and I live in Central Time, so
Yeah,
that'd
I mean,
be great. Like,
you've got two time zones that are watching games into past midnight.
Well,
Like-
I mean, some of the studies came out saying that where a lot of the games are being watched, New York City, one of the biggest populated cities in the world, they just blink out halfway through the final game. So those East Coast fans can worry a little bit less about staying up late before work the next day. So.
Yeah, I mean, who
Right.
can blame them, right? If you're living in New York or Florida, one of those East Coast states, the Warriors game starting at 12:30
exactly. And then you got
So-
work at 6:30. Yeah, no one's
or
we're not
11:30,
about
I
that
should
late.
say. Do you guys think this has anything to do with the fact that the Lakers and the Clippers are that much more popular? Well, not popular, but they've got these new.
A lot of anticipation behind their
Yeah.
games. They want as many
Right.
eyeballs as possible.
Yeah,
I
they-
definitely think that's part of it.
They know people want to watch those games, but people also have priorities, right? So they're they're likelier to say, you know what, I really want to watch this LeBron Kawhi, matchup, but I gotta go to work.
Right.
So I'm gonna DVR it or catch it on YouTube highlights, something like that.
Yeah.
I have no idea how the NBA schedule makers make their schedules. I think it's like total wizardry with all the things that you have to take into account with all their stadium and arena kind of events going on. All these guys going on road trips versus when is the circus in town for Chicago, so they got to go all around town
Right.
on a big old road trip. Like, how do you do all that? But I don't doubt with as talented as those people seem to be with the awesome matchups we get at the end of the year. Remember about 3 years ago, Memphis, Dallas, the Pelicans, and I think even the Suns were all racing for an 8th seed and all went down to the final game. I don't know how they get that to happen, but it wouldn't surprise me if they were able to factor that in too.
Yeah, they've definitely got some high-level wizardry going on, some supercomputers inputting all that data to kind of figure out, the best viewing schedule for these. So I don't know. I think it's a little bit of the NBA doing whatever they can to get as many eyes as they can on the game.
All I can say
Make
is
it easier
whoever's
for 'em.
making that schedule is
Lock 'em
definitely-
in.
They're definitely earning their money, man.
Oh, yeah.
I find it tough making a 12-team fantasy football league schedule.
Dude, and you got to
And I
factor in all the music,
Yeah.
all the music artists touring and
Well, I
stuff
mean,
too.
you
It's
have
hard.
to. Yeah, you have the TV contract, so I'm assuming there's something behind that, right? You have to give them so many primetime games with particular teams. I'm sure that the TV stations are, because you have NBA TV, you have TNT, you have ABC, ESPN,
Yeah.
and they're all fighting for the Lakers, Clippers, the teams we just talked
Yeah.
about. So that must be a headache.
Yeah. The highest bidder.
That, but also I think it kind of speaks to, it gives me confidence in that the league is going to continue to grow and change per the kind of direction everyone's moving towards where, as far as the schedule goes, less back-to-backs, more focus on player health. Not that players now aren't as healthy as maybe they were in the 90s. Everybody wants to say, oh, things were tougher back then. Michael Jordan played, 82 games, 5 straight years when he was 32 to 37.
Smoke cigars. Did
You know,
18
things
holes
like
of
that.
golf.
Yeah,
Stuff like
exactly.
that. Yeah.
Come in drunk. That's how we
Right.
were. But, anything that we can do to make sure that the players as a whole are playing their best late into the season when the games are most important on the line, I'm down with that. That's cool with me. So
Yeah, and
Yeah.
why not try it?
That reminds me of that Steve Francis piece that came out last year where I don't remember what city he went to play in, but this veteran from that city was like, "Let's go out, let's go to the club." Da, da, da. Before he knew it, it was like 7 a.m. and he's like,
That sounds
"I'm
like
gonna
Houston, Steve
I'm
Francis.
gonna destroy you." It was Steve Francis who was the guy, but the vet, I don't remember who the vet was, but he's like, "I'm gonna destroy you," and it was like 7 a.m. So he purposely kept them out.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like,
Wow.
so that he could beat him. But it's funny because we talk about these guys needing load management, and of course the schedule, the number of back-to-backs declining, is catering to that. But to Rich's point, I think you're dead on, Rich. If it means we're seeing
Higher quality
better
games. Yeah.
games.
everybody
yes.
at their best, then
Yeah.
I'm cool with it. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, because injuries seem to have been trending over the past few years, upward. You know what I mean? Guys staying out for this or that, and it's hard to parse it from who's being load managed versus who's like actually hurt.
And
You
freak accidents too.
Yeah, like 15 years ago, somebody would just say, "Oh, he's got a bum knee and he'd stay out," and it's hard to know which one's real. But it's like you were saying, the highest quality product at the most opportune time is kind of what we're getting towards. And I think personally, if it keeps trending in a positive way this way, and we see like healthier players near the end, maybe they really will consider shortening the schedule a little bit and
I
making.
mean, yeah,
the
Adam
games
Silver,
matter
he
a
said
little
he was
bit more.
open to it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
I'm with it. So on the schedule, we've got a couple of games to kick off the season. First game is the Raptors. Is it at
The
no, it's
championship-
Pelicans at Raptors, right? Okay, so Pelicans at Raptors. Zion Williamson making his NBA debut, taking on the defending champion Raptors. What do you think that's a good game to kick off the season? I mean, Zion's been the high ball off season, right?
definitely, and I think it's a nice kind of hedge of the bet, because it's not going to be the same Raptors team. They're still probably going to be good. The Pelicans are probably going to be well coached, exciting team, but it doesn't seem as though it's going to be lopsided either way. Hopefully, we get an exciting
Should be
matchup.
an entertaining game.
Kyle Lowry gets to be back from his thumb injury. Hear all the fans in Toronto celebrating, trying to run it back. So I think it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be real hype, lots of views, and that game starts off on October 22nd. That's when the official start date of the season is, right?
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Is it a Wednesday?
Tuesday, October 22nd.
Tuesday the
Okay.
22nd.
I think they definitely earned it, right? That's the you're the champion kind of deal. You earn this spot, and I think it's well deserved. Despite not having Kawhi, and then of course putting Zion on there, they don't want to, because the second game on there, and you're about to talk about it, is the Clippers and the Lakers, right? So I don't think they want to just stack all their premier games on there. They don't want to do like Clippers, Lakers, and then
And then
Well, like they
fall
did
off
last
and-
year.
and then also like Thunder, Houston
Mhm.
on the same day, right? You
Yeah.
want to save it. You wanna-
Exactly.
but Zion's that balance because it's like, oh, you got the defending champs and you've got the phenom Zion.
Number
Everybody's
one
wanting to
pick,
watch him.
LeBron
So
Jr.,
you
yeah.
get a little bit of both, right? You get the rookie sensation, and then you get the matches that
Yeah.
everybody wants to see. It's like
Right.
it's like a WWE pay per view.
You said LeBron Jr., Andre. Is that where you feel like the hype levels are?
I think so. They're really trying to, market this guy as the next big thing in the NBA.
Yeah, he
like
just
that's,
signed
I
that-
mean, he's getting the marquee
Marquee slot.
Yeah.
And he signed that huge contract with Jordan a couple weeks ago. So, I mean,
The
Let's hope
hype's
they-
there.
isn't that the highest rookie signing? I believe so.
Yeah.
One of them, and let's hope his shoe, his footwear game is on point because we need this man to be healthy. We've been talking about health. I need Zion's shoes not to
we
explode.
need no more falling
So
apart.
he was wearing like shoes that were made for Kyrie
I thought he was wearing Paul George's.
or the
Yeah,
the
he's
Paul
wearing Paul
George.
It's a
George.
PG-3.
This dude
Yeah.
is like, they're gonna make a shoe specifically for him, and he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Well, I would hope so. That would be the most terrible thing
if his signature shoe just like.
I think only
ruined
Zion could explode a shoe.
it.
The second game on there, the Clippers and the Lakers. That's what everybody is ready to see.
Yeah, the LA hype.
It's crazy. Before the Kawhi thing, it's like Clippers, Lakers, and now it's like Clippers, Lakers.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
man.
like LeBron likes to put on a show. Like game 1 last year against Portland, and it was like
Oh,
Damian Lillard versus LeBron James, just dunk after dunk
The
after
back to
dunk.
back, yeah.
That was crazy. And so he knows when all the eyes are on him. He's got a flair for the magnificent, LeBron does. And I'll never forget that Chris Webber call from last year. He goes, "Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Bron." Man, that was so perfect. I want something like that to happen again this year. Lobbing it to Anthony Davis.
Yeah, it'll definitely be fireworks.
Y'all
And,
think y'all think Kawhi will rise up to that challenge?
He's gonna
of
load
the
manage on the first
showmanship?
day. He's gonna load manage
Be
the
like-
first day.
he's
Kind
gonna
of just
sit out game.
take the
Okay.
wind out of the sails.
I think it's definitely gonna be a statement game for the Clippers. If I had to do an early bet on it, I'd bet that the Clippers win that game. I think they want to establish themselves as the dominant team early on. I think they'll be all business. I don't think anybody will be too flashy. I think Paul George will take a page out of, and Paul George hasn't really been one to be flashy, although we've seen the commercials and all that.
Mhm.
But I do think that they're gonna just be like, we're here to handle business. That's gonna be their early statement.
And both of them have battled LeBron at the highest level too.
Yeah.
So I think.
I hope he's able to be healthy in time. He's had both those shoulder surgeries.
Yeah.
So,
he had him on both. Wow.
Yeah, it was one at a
He
time.
did one, and then he did the other one
man.
a few weeks later, so that there wasn't a period where they were both operated on. And he couldn't move either arm. That's like a lifestyle. Like that's how they timed that.
They put you in those casts that like has a connecting thing right here. You know what I'm talking about? It's like that big cat. The ones they film. Anyway. No, but what I was gonna say is, oh, sorry, you were saying.
Just saying, I hope he's out there. I hope they don't ruin the parade and just have Kawhi sit. That'd be pretty crazy.
Kawhi.
I just think I can't wait for the day after. All the way too early takes.
Well, the ones that will have.
The battle for LA. So these guys are the champs.
It's gonna be we'll call them the Paul Pierce takes, right? It's over.
It's over. The Ryan Hollins.
Game 1 out of 82. The Clippers clearly won, or the Lakers, whoever wins, right?
This is their conference.
They won by 10. It's over. There's no way.
One small thing that I'm excited for that we probably haven't seen. We all know about the Dwayne Wade alley-oop shot to LeBron James in Miami, where Dwayne Wade's got the wings out, and then the Kyrie ones off the glass to LeBron. LeBron gets to be the one lobbing it up to Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis gets to finish it and hopefully look a little bit cool in the process. He's never been cool before. This will be the first time he gets to be cool in LA.
I just hope he doesn't get rim stuff.
That'd be pretty hilarious.
That'd be pretty bad. Yeah, I don't see that happening though.
So everyone's looking forward to opening day, and then everyone's kind of looking forward a little bit to Christmas Day too. We got some pretty spicy matchups on Christmas Day.
Doesn't Christmas Day also have that game again?
It does.
Yeah. Can you help yourself?
That's part 2.
And
everybody wants it. Give it to them.
They got the primetime one. They got the primetime picks.
It's like all the great fights.
They start off with Celtic Raptors in the morning. Not all the eyeballs are there, but it's my favorite day of the year. Just games. And then the Bucks 76ers, which we know Andre will be reporting on live from that.
I'll give you the play-by-play.
Pelicans Nuggets after that. Pelicans, if they round into form with Alvin Gentry, have a high-pace offense. Be pretty good to see against Denver.
Two young teams, that should be really
Nikola
good to watch.
Jokic, Jamal Murray, going ham. And then after that, the real prime time before the late game that people start, sleeping after the Christmas feast, Clippers-Lakers. And then wrapping it up with Rockets Warriors, which hopefully should have some fireworks.
That is a sick lineup.
That is.
So the first lineup makes sense. Early morning, get the entire nation of Canada up. Wake them up with a nice Raptors game. Then you've got the two young teams. The two very deep teams, the Nuggets and the Pelicans. The Pelicans go like 15 deep or 13 deep, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But and then who's next?
Well, the Bucks Sixers are the second.
Oh, Bucks Sixers. Yeah, I didn't even think about that one. Bucks
Sixers, reigning MVP.
I think that's a really very early indicator.
Prediction for the Eastern Conference
That's
Finals.
when you can kind of start saying, okay, we've got 20 or so games 30 games under our belt. Let's see how the East matches up. 1 and 2, right?
Yeah, probably.
More than likely. And then who do you have?
The third game was the Pelican Nuggets that you were talking about.
Oh, okay, yeah, that would be good. That's just team basketball, I believe. Well, we don't know what the Pelicans are going to look like, but I hope that they can.
Hopefully, Brandon
they'll have
Ingram,
something figured out by then.
Brandon Ingram can be rounded into form, get over his previous injury scare, and
Michael
really
Porter
see what
Jr.
they can do.
On the other side.
Yeah, hopefully he's healthy.
I hope he plays some games.
I know.
I'm all about being hype and being excited, but I want to see this man play 20 straight games and then get hype. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, hopefully by that point he's got them under his belt. Then we've got Lakers Clippers,
and then after that is Golden State and Houston.
Oh, that'll be great.
That's gonna be.
And I'm proud. I'm not here to stand for the NBA schedule makers anymore. But before the schedule came out, I wrote on these notes here. Before seeing the schedule, before hearing the release, I was like, the Knicks are going to be on national TV again on Christmas, and we're going to have to justify it somehow again.
How relieved do you think they are to know that there are so many teams
that they don't have to put the Knicks there?
Right?
Yeah. I'm excited.
You can make a good schedule.
It's kind of hard to mess it up. Yeah. It's almost hard. It's hard to make a bad schedule when you have that many good teams.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's crazy because me and Andre were talking about games to look forward to seeing live this season. It's like, dude, whoever comes into town is going to be a pretty good matchup, and you're going to see stars. So that's awesome.
And this is what KD's sitting out. Imagine Brooklyn too. Yeah.
I wish he wasn't out. As much crap as everybody gave him for joining the Warriors, it'd be nice to be able to see him play some basketball in a different uniform.
Exactly. I have a feeling he's going to recover well. I think they're definitely going to take their time with him and not rush him back, of course. And he came out and said that the Warriors didn't pressure him to return. If they have any blame on it, he's like, you'd be ridiculous to say that they had any blame. It was all his decision, which I think is cool. And then the other tidbit that I saw, or someone that noticed when I was browsing Reddit the other day, was his ACL tear
it wasn't on his dominant leg, right?
Non-dominant leg.
Yeah.
And everyone else that came back not full strength had their tear on their dominant leg, and the one that you just walking down the street, people tell me Dominique Wilkins came back strong when I was at work the other day, and that's true. And Dominique Wilkins had it on his non-dominant leg, so that's a good tea leaf to read into when he's coming back next season. But let's focus on this season, because this season's gonna be
for sure
star-studded. I'm excited.
Yeah, we don't want it to be a season full of what if, but
Yeah.
anything else on the schedule, guys, standing out? I know MLK Day is another big one.
Yeah,
Well, so-
like almost every team's playing on MLK Day,
Okay.
except for the Clippers and I think one other team.
November 14th, the Mavericks go up to New York and play with Kristaps Porzingis, given that he's healthy. And he should be healthy in the first half of the season. He usually is. It's in the second half of the season where he's sitting out, has
Yeah.
a long-term injury. But November 14th at New York, and
Fingers crossed.
we get to hear the boos.
I'm glad you said that. I saw a poll and I didn't see the results, but who do you think is gonna get booed the loudest when they go back home? There's Kristaps, there's Kyrie, there's
Ooh.
Russell Westbrook.
No, guys,
they're not
there's
gonna boo
way.
I'm
Russ.
just naming
They're not.
guys.
Yeah.
I'm not saying,
They're gonna be cheering.
There's KD. No, probably not.
Kemba Walker.
Kemba Walker. I don't think that'd be crazy if you saw Kemba getting booed.
No,
Yeah,
they're gonna
Like,
boo.
really?
They might boo Paul George.
Paul George.
Where in Oklahoma
OKC.
or in Indiana?
You know, I think they're done.
Kawhi Leonard. No.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
That'd be funny.
So who do you think is most likely, or who's gonna get there? Several of them probably get booed, but who will get the loudest?
Who get the loudest?
Kyrie Irving's gonna get
It's
the
gotta be
loudest boos
Kyrie.
by far, dude.
Yeah, Boston's a very
There's
vocal team.
Yeah, they're very salty fans.
Yeah.
Like, even people that live here in Dallas are like, "Oh, I'm a Boston fan." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. I got respect for Boston." And then, like, without even me saying anything, they just like, "I hate Kyrie Irving." I was like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah, that's cool.
I didn't ask you about that."
They tell you
Do-
they're
do-
vegan too.
No,
Can you blame them after he said he was gonna re-sign at the end of the year, at the beginning of last year?
he just
Exactly.
shouldn't have said that. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not a
You don't want to commit too early.
I'm not an
right?
NBA player or anything, and I don't go through the training that they do to handle the media as a young man. And I definitely haven't had several seasons of NBA experience under my belt. But if you know the media is going to hang on to that all year long, so just don't say it. Like, things change. It's a long season. 6 months from now, anything could change about your life, including
I
that.
feel like that was more an attempt of him to grab the reins of the leadership role, right? To
Mhm.
kind of be like, I want to be here. I'm willing to put
Yeah.
my,
exactly.
put it all in. I'm all in, and somehow, maybe draw in the rest of the team to be like, hey, he wants to be here. Yeah, let's.
That's true. There's not a question mark. And
Yeah.
so it's like there's two things you can see to compare that to. When Kawhi Leonard kept getting asked, "What are you going to do next season? What are you going to do next season?" He would say, "I'm not talking about that until next season."
Exactly.
When you compare it to Kevin Durant, where he ended up shutting down the questions for a little bit after all, when the reports come out that guys are actually in dysfunction or feeling, however they want to feel, but not a positive feeling about not knowing if he's going to sign again when he signs the 1+1s,
Yeah.
or it's unsure, that can have an effect on the team, as you could see, when you compound that with the grind of going to the finals again and again and again,
Yeah.
having that insecurity, not knowing what's going on going forward. So you're right. Like, he could have been saying that, trying to be a leader and put that to rest, not having to wonder what's going to
Yeah.
happen next season. So
I think the biggest thing, because you mentioned Kawhi, I think the biggest thing there was that, and I think we talk about all the on-court performance, but I think a big positive is that he had Kyle Lowry,
Yeah.
Like, he had Kyle Lowry being a huge advocate for him, despite DeMar DeRozan, his best
you're talking
friend,
about
leaving.
Kawhi now?
Yeah, for Kawhi, because you mentioned how Kawhi didn't talk about. I'm not going to talk about next year. I'm not going to talk about next year. I think if Kyle Lowry's not there to be, because Kawhi is the clear best leader on the court, but I feel like Kyle Lowry had the.
Yeah, he's still the captain.
Yeah,
the locker
he had the
room
locker
leader.
room,
Yeah.
and so to have Kyle be like, "Hey, we don't know if he's going to be here next year, but let's go in."
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Focus on them now.
And that was definitely not the case in Boston.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And then
Yeah.
even that text message exchange after it all happened, Kawhi reached out to Kyle. He said, "Hey, we're both unhappy. This isn't the ideal situation for either of us, but let's win a championship." And if Kyle's not on board with that and doesn't spread the message to the rest of the team, you don't get the result that they, worked for and were lucky to get. So
Yeah.
Definitely.
Good team chemistry and a championship on top of that. The opposite of Boston.
chemistry does matter. And
Yeah.
not to preview, or I guess to preview a little bit what's coming up next in the episode, like, we've seen chemistry not work out for Team USA, for example. As good of the players you can put on the court, put all the best players together. It's not always going to work out. Look
Yeah.
at the Los Angeles Lakers from 2012,
13?
13?
12, 13? Yeah.
Nash, Dwight Howard,
Yeah.
Kobe, and Powell. They
Yeah.
just went down like in flames.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So
Now that you mentioned, let's go ahead and transition into our next segment. I think we touched on all the big dates for next year.
Mm-hmm.
So let's transition into our next topic. I asked you guys, do you think Team USA is dead? Not dead, but do you think it's gonna return to? It's far from what it used to be in the Dream Team days, or even the LeBron James team that went and won gold, because we had several players opting out of playing for Team NBA, and it's not even physical, like it's not injuries, anything like that. And I have a list here of players who have opted out. Montrezl Harrell, he's actually invited, but he declined. Kevin Love, he pulled out. DeMar DeRozan as well. Damian Lillard, Tobias Harris, even Zion Williamson, a rookie, right?
Right.
Something that might have been good for his brand to be out there on the global level, global stage. He backed out, and then Eric Gordon as well withdrew. And then some of the names that were brought in after are Jaren Jackson, Mason Plumlee, Donovan Mitchell, De'Aaron Fox, Jason Tatum, Kyle Kuzma, Miles Turner. Kyle Lowry was actually still going to be in.
Kyle Lowry's a bulldog, man. He'll play through anything, except for the thumb.
Yeah, he was
loves
going to
the
try to
game.
play through the thumb, but as of about 2 hours ago, it's not making progress, so he had to withdraw as well. And then you got PJ Tucker, Thaddeus Young, Jaylen Brown, Julius Randle, and Marcus Smart. So if we kind of compare stardom from the first list to the second list.
PJ's out?
No,
No,
he's
PJ's
in.
still
PJ's
in.
in.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
So we kind of compare the stardom, the what do you call it? The notoriety from the first list to the second list. We see a little bit of a drop off, right?
Right. Oh, there's a lot of a drop off. I think there's like the current list. There's 5 All-Stars total. 3 of those belong to Kemba. One's what's his name? You got 1 for Brooke Lopez, and you got 1 for Chris Middleton. So that's 5 All-Stars.
So do you think that? I mean, and I don't think they're gonna lose anyway, right? Because we still have the best players on any team.
Still the
Well,
best player. The
I
Serbian
gotta-
team's pretty buff.
Is Giannis not playing for Greece?
I don't know about Giannis.
I think him and his brothers were gonna play.
Because if they're all playing, I don't think he's playing this season. But like looking ahead to the Olympics in 2020, if Giannis is playing for Greece and LeBron and company, Kevin Durant, aren't playing, James Harden's not playing.
I think Kevin Durant's definitely not playing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But like if they're not playing, that's like one of the first times that I can remember that the best player is not on Team USA.
Oh,
Which
that's true.
you're saying it's is Team USA basketball dead? And I don't want to say it's dead, but if it's in a weekend state, maybe that's not a good thing for the biggest market for the NBA, which is the United States. But isn't that good for basketball
Competition,
Across the
competitive
world.
wise.
on a
Yeah.
global scale? You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Because you got Giannis over there in Greece, Luka Doncic. Let's say he returns to play for Slovenia. Slovenia,
Yeah.
and
Slovenia,
just guys like that. And like look at the next Olympics after 2020 for 2024. We got guys like Karl Anthony Towns. He can't play for the United States. He's declared for
He has
the
a
Dominican Republic with
wow.
with Al Horford. You know what I mean?
That's
Giannis
pretty nice.
playing in Greece. And other guys
I mean,
that are going to be aging out.
Yeah, you have RJ Barrett and Tristan Thompson in
I think
Canada.
Ben Simmons was
Tristan
supposed to
Thompson a
play
little bit
for
earlier,
Australia.
a little bit older, but RJ can suddenly pop. And
Yeah,
now,
can-
and
yeah.
now he's playing for Team Canada.
Yeah,
Right.
and then the Australian guys. Ben Simmons, Kyrie
Yeah.
Irving. So
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Joe Ingles.
it's kind of cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see. I mean, so like
Well, I guess my bigger point here, because you're mentioning those names, but those are primetime stars, right? What if it becomes just a thing where these guys are like, and to kind of draw a correlation, think about the guys that are going into bowls in the NFL draft. They're top rated rookies, right? Prospects. They're about to get drafted, probably top 10, and they're like, maybe I shouldn't play in the Orange Bowl that
Right.
means
that's
nothing.
It means nothing, and it's so
Yeah.
volatile. That sport is so it's so risky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People
So who's to say that these guys don't just all start saying, you know what, we're not playing for Team USA. We don't care.
And it did change. I mean, Coach Popovich is taking over the reins from Coach K, and Coach K, the vibe that people get and the jokes that get made is that he likes, the stars playing, coaching the stars and being able to recruit guys for Duke because he's like, hey, you like Kobe? Let me just call him up. You can talk to him and tell you
Yeah.
about how great I am, how great the program is, star-studded.
Yeah.
But when it's Coach Popovich, Popovich doesn't care. I mean, yeah, he likes the players. He gets along great with a lot of guys. People love Coach Pop. But is it different that, it's like, oh, I hear Coach Pop is pretty tough. Do I want to go do that? Who knows? Who
That
knows
makes
what it
that
is?
makes perfect sense because that you talk about the recruiting thing. I feel like Coach K is more used to being like, yeah, let me show you the flashy lights and make you feel like a freaking star.
Mhm.
So he probably has that kind of he probably gives that same kind of attention to the Team USA guys, and they feel like, yeah, I'm the shit, right?
And he's
The
kinda
way he
build 'em
makes
up.
the high
Yeah.
schoolers feel when they're about to get recruited to Duke.
Yeah,
And Pop's like, I don't care who you are.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're in the system. We're playing to win.
You go back to the last round when Anthony Davis was the youngest guy on the 2012 roster, and Coach K first interviews at training camp go. He waxes poetic about LeBron James and Kobe Bryant for like 5 minutes and doesn't know a lot about Anthony Davis at that point. It's like, so what do you think about Anthony Davis? Good, works hard. 10 seconds. 10 seconds on it. He's all about the stars. Whereas I think Popovich might even prefer the roster in the state that it is now.
Yeah,
Getting to coach Jaylen Brown.
That does look like a Spurs roster.
Exactly. He's like, get in line. You're all gonna play a role. And like when you compare the roster, with PJ Tucker at the end of the bench, Derek White, Chris Middleton, these are guys that kind of play their role. They're able to be plugged in, and they're not worried about the kind of minutes that they get or the role they have on the team. They're here to do their job, and they're able to buy into that. Whereas a team like the bronze-winning team that had to be redeemed by the redeemed team, Allen Iverson, Stephon Marbury, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony. These are guys that are about theirs. You know what I mean? They don't have a lot of glue guys. They had Tim Duncan on that team, but they also had Amari Stoudemire, LeBron James. It's like they guys that are all demanding something, as opposed to joining for something bigger than themselves.
Yeah, it feels like they probably did it more for their brand than actually trying to go out and win.
Trying to go out and win,
Yeah, they thought that, and that's why they're the redeemed. The redeemed.
Well, the redeemed team was the next one.
They're redeemed with the D at the end. They're the redeemed team.
The redeemed team.
Yeah,
exactly.
The reason they're the redeemed team is because they probably went in there thinking, "Oh, we're gonna
just do what we want and win anyway."
Yeah. So, I like that. That you're saying that it's probably going to become more competitive, and you have so many international guys that are gonna be able to possibly carry one of those smaller countries into a goal. We saw Manu do it. When we're talking about the redeemed team, we saw Manu do it, right? Brought gold to Argentina.
Exactly.
So you never know who can do it.
A higher and higher percentage of European players come into the league every year, and that's going to be good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's going to be some good ass dudes. So
yes, sir. All right, so that does it for our Is Team USA Dead? If you guys let us know on Twitter, do you guys think that this is a good thing for FIBA Olympics, whatever you want to call it, or is this a bad thing? Are we going to start seeing more and more stars dropping from the international stage? But let's move on to our next topic. I want to talk about the Rich Paul rule. So about a week ago, the NCAA instituted a rule saying that in order for an agent to be an agent, not only do they need to be certified, but they also have to have a bachelor degree. So what do you guys think about that? A lot of people, the NCAA caught the NCAA always catches heat for not paying their students,
everything.
But now they're catching heat for essentially telling people that you have to go to college in order to recruit these guys from college. Do you think that was targeted at Rich Paul? It's being called the Rich Paul rule. It's not actually the Rich Paul rule.
LeBron James dubbed it the Rich Paul rule.
Yeah. So do you guys think that was targeted to kind of, maybe he ruffled some feathers because these guys have been in the industry for a long time, and all of a sudden Rich Paul, a friend, right, is suddenly representing some of the biggest names? Do you think that it was targeted at him? And second, it did just get revoked as of like today.
So we recorded, it happened, and then it undid before we recorded it again.
Yeah, like it happened and unhappened, in between episodes. So
exactly.
Do you think that it was targeted at him? And then B, just your take on it? Like,
I don't know. I think it creates like this artificial barrier, right? Like having a degree doesn't determine whether or not you're going to be a good agent or not, right? So I think another part of that rule was like you need to have 3 years experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and that's still the case of being approved by the NBA
yeah,
Players
that's part already
Association.
about being approved. So that was already there. But a bachelor's degree?
Like, what does that
you don't even
prove?
need a
That doesn't
bachelor's
know
degree.
anything.
You don't even need a bachelor's degree to be a CEO of like a Fortune 500 company.
Right, but to represent someone, like a lot of these players have family members who represent them, and they don't have bachelor's degrees.
Exactly, and so like the spirit of it is to keep, people from taking advantage of these young players. You know what I mean? But who's to say that? What does that suddenly make you a reputable person?
Yeah,
there's plenty of people that have bachelor's degrees.
You get your bachelor's degree in anything. It doesn't mean anything.
Yep,
it doesn't mean you're a good
a
person
bachelor's
or something.
degree
Like,
in what?
Like
I can have one in history, and so suddenly I'm more qualified than Rich Paul is to.
I'm pretty sure Rich
advise
Paul
been
knows
doing
a
it
lot
for
more
like
than I do
13
about,
years, right?
I'm sure he knows way more than I do about,
negotiating contracts, business, and things like that.
I, for one, definitely think it was completely 100% targeted.
Yeah.
Like he's messing with the system, not literally, but in their eyes, he's coming for our money.
And it makes
he's gonna start representing like all the guys, and nobody else is gonna get hired, and we're not able to, have our, he's going against the status quo in a sense. So we got to do something about it. Hey, NCAA, cut him off.
That kind of goes with a quote from Jay Billis I was going to read for y'all. But, Andre, you were about to say something.
Yeah, I don't want to, get on my soapbox, but It's
Let's
just
do
one
it.
of those things. Like, it's the NCAA. Of course, they're gonna
Yeah.
want to put another barrier that focuses
Yeah,
on
I mean,
you
let's
having
call it an
college
ace and
education.
ace.
Yeah.
If you're
Like-
setting education like having to go to a 4-year college, which you know isn't cheap as a barrier, it's targeting people who aren't able to go to college, right?
Exactly.
So, people of color have a more difficult time. We don't go to college in the same rate, so it's clearly something that's gonna cut people off at the
Right.
knees early. And I'm glad they rescinded it, but it should have never been something that happened. I just want to go over some tweets. I mean, not tweets, some quotes from Rich Paul. When it first happened, one of the tweets he said, or one of the quotes he said was, "Requiring a 4-year degree accomplishes only one thing: systematically excluding those who come from a world where college is unrealistic." So, kind of what I was saying. He
Yeah.
actually said that today on The Athletic, and I think they were like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
The media kind of hammered the NCAA
And
on
so
this all around.
Jay
so.
Billis goes right along with that. This is going to be a little bit wordy, but the new rule hinders players by restricting the flow of information they may receive, allowing only those who meet the NCAA's new criteria, excludes significant segments of the agent pool, no matter how good they are at their jobs. Not just those without a bachelor's degree, but also any up-and-coming agents who haven't been MBPA certified for 3 years. It also excludes the agents trying to break into an industry that's predominantly white and male.
yeah,
So it's like you were saying, the status quo.
yeah,
We
exactly.
can't change this stuff.
Yeah,
This is the way it's always been. It should
Exactly.
still be this way.
I mean, the way I see it is if Tim Cook, the biggest company in the world is Apple, is saying, I don't care if you have a bachelor's degree. I just want to hire smart. I just want to hire
the
good,
best
smart
person
people. Yeah,
possible.
I don't give a damn about a bachelor's degree. Why? He's not performing surgery. Like he's not
Exactly.
gonna cut nobody open. If he does a bad job, guess what? He gets
He
fired.
gets fired, yeah.
But he's not. But nobody dies.
Exactly.
Like, why does that require a degree? Literally nothing that he does requires him to sit in a classroom and learn from who's. Is there like a curriculum in college that's going to teach you how to be an agent? Like,
Yeah.
no.
If
like,
you go to this special NCAA sponsored
Sponsored.
school,
oh, and,
right?
hey, there you go. They're trying to get their money wherever
yeah,
they can.
exactly.
I think it's good that they rescinded it, and it would have been a terrible move to even have this in place because all these guys that want to get represented are going to be like, well, then I'll just go play in Europe. I
Or
mean,
in the- or in the
where's
G League.
LaMelo? Where's LaMelo at?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. In
I'm going to
in
Lithuania.
Lithuania. Yeah.
He's in New Zealand or Australia.
Yeah, I think he's like
Yeah.
Australia right now.
He's in Australia, right? So like they could easily just do that, and guess what? He's eligible next year, and he's probably going to be the number one prospect. And guess what? Did not have to wear a single college jersey, deal with anything
Made
with
the
the
NCAA
NCAA.
no money.
And make his money, baby.
And he's making money.
Make the
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, that would have been an easy choice for me if I was hooping. Think about who are the young guys that are in the middle school going into high school and are probably going to be prospects moving forward. Zaire
Yeah,
Oh, and
Zaire
Bronny.
and Bronny. Yeah, you think LeBron's gonna want to
No,
fuck
he's
with
not
the
gonna play
NCAA
with that,
if they're
yeah.
doing that shit?
Mm-mm.
The power's going to the players and the NCAA. I'm finally glad that somebody stuck it to the NCAA and made them fold on something because they're getting away with too much stuff for too
They
long.
do.
Yeah, just salty that, Rich Paul's getting all these one and done athletes to come in and come out. They want people to stay into, a 4-year degree or advertise their game more and stay in college longer. And then the G League is going to, in the NBA's eyes, become a more viable place for guys to go and learn and train and play there and get paid instead of, going to
Yeah.
a college 4-year system. So
Yeah. I like this other quote that he said that was funny. This is before they rescinded it. He said, "Does anyone really believe a 4-year degree is what separates an ethical person from a con artist?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that one earlier, and that was like the perfect thing. It's like,
There's plenty of bad people out there, unethical people that have degrees.
Exactly.
So that doesn't protect anybody.
yeah.
If anything, I feel more comfortable with the person I know. Like they always say, don't bring family into certain things because it can make you make bad decisions.
Mhm.
But if you trust the person, and especially somebody who he still needs the 3 years experience, right?
yeah.
You'll be fine.
There's
You'll
other
be fine.
there's other safeguards in place, and I don't see a problem that is being solved. What are they solving? You know what I mean?
Get those
Yeah.
Rich Pauls out of.
Exactly.
I think we all agree. Good thing. I mean, obviously the NCAA got a lot of shit for it, and it's gone, so we
Yeah,
don't have to
good.
worry about it anymore. And let people make their money. Jeez,
Exactly.
what is wrong with?
Players
Go on.
next.
play-
Get paid.
Yeah. So next, I'm gonna move on to Twitter, our Twitter segment.
What do we got?
We got
What's
the
the team?
Utah
Utah
Jazz
Jazz.
on deck. So let me pull up these tweets from the Utah Jazz. First one comes from @JazzFandonMan. I think I said that right. I had to say it fast so I don't mess it up. He says 72 days until the opening game of the Utah Jazz 2019-2020 title run.
Man.
So
17
I
days
get, it's
until
possible.
Or
Huh?
117 days?
72 days.
72
72
days.
days.
So
But the main part, Rich, there
Not the
How many days they said? Hold on, get the
Is-
calendar.
is that he's saying they're gonna make a title run. What do you think?
It's open, man. We've
It's
been saying this
possible,
for like
man.
3 weeks now.
I think there are a lot of people's dark horses, myself included, to sneak. I mean, they're not gonna sneak into playoffs. I think they're gonna easily make the playoffs. They made it last year. They'll make it again, and then just we talked about it last week, right? Get momentum. They've got the depth. They got some new guys in there. Mike Conley.
Some better
Bojan.
creators, better scorers.
I had them in the 2 seed last season. You know what I mean? So I'm a believer. I think it's going to hinge on Donovan Mitchell again, and that seems like the easy choice. But you bring in Mike Conley, he's proven. He's going to handle the ball. He's going to take care of the ball, make his shots. As long as his health is there, he's going to draw the help, drive to the rim, and pass the ball out. And instead of having to shoot over 1.5 people, maybe it's half a person. You know, a guy's having to close out
Oh,
on
that half a
Donovan
guy.
Mitchell. Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
man.
Not a full contest. He's going to make that shot. His efficiency went way down last season, and it was looking more like Russell Westbrook instead of Donovan Mitchell, efficient shots. Because it's like a
was
rookie
just
quarterback.
hard.
You haven't scouted for this guy in his first season.
Yeah.
He's exploding, looking good. Everyone's scouted for you. They're scouting for you every game, and they're going to look for you.
Well, they just take
And
you out of
then
the
when your
equation. That's all
teammates
that
aren't
matters.
doing
Exactly.
much,
And
it's
so
like,
now he's got
just
Mike
stop
Conley
this guy.
there, and it's going to be up to him to produce, get to the rim, be a triple threat, get those percentages back up, and then now they're scouted for you. You got some help. You got to perform and deliver and get you to the second round, the third round, maybe the third round.
They got shooters, man. They had
They got
shooters before, but they got more shooters now. I mean, you had Mike Conley and Bojan. I mean, both shoot. I mean, Bojan shoots over 42%, 43%.
Mike
from three.
said like 33, I think,
Yeah,
last
I mean,
season.
you got
so,
shooters, man.
yeah.
You got threats on the outside. That'll allow
more creators too.
it'll allow
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell to be more explosive
Yeah.
because he's able to play off ball or on ball because
Yeah.
you have to respect Mike Conley.
Yeah.
So definitely think. I mean, title run. I wouldn't put my money on a title run, but definitely.
If it happened, I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, depending on
Yeah.
the rates in Vegas, maybe you would.
yeah, right.
Yeah, I might.
give me some
I'll put a couple.
plus like 30,000. I might take it.
And like, I'm always a big, guy that knocks Jeff Green because he'll like explode
Hey, man,
for
I
like,
like Jeff
3
Green.
games in a row. And
Yeah.
Dwayne Wade came out and was like, "How's my man Jeff Green always getting shafted? He's getting paid so little money." You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But he's athletic. He can do stuff, and they're deep enough to where if he's on, he plays, and if he's not, do him like Will Barton, put him on the bench.
We
You know what I
talked
mean?
about this during the playoffs, man. That's all you need. Can he give you one game per
where he's
series?
good, yeah.
Oh, that's all
That's
you
a win.
need.
Yeah.
We saw that with the Raptors,
Fred
right?
VanVleet.
Yeah, just need. I mean, he was lights out in game
Yeah,
6.
you
right?
saw that with the
To seal
Cavs
the
in
title.
2018.
Yeah, exactly.
Against Boston.
Yep. That's
That's
all,
all you need is one game.
So nice addition. Definitely feel good about Utah's chances. So we'll see where they end up.
Definitely.
Next tweet is from @Volpia2, aka Anthony. He says the Celtics are trying really hard to three-peat as the NBA's most overrated team, but this year they have strong competition from the Utah Jazz.
Oh no.
So this guy's on the other spectrum. He says they are overrated. That
So,
the hype is not real,
I mean,
Rich.
I was just about to say, I'm hype. I'm up on them, but I don't think Dante Exum's going to magically turn a corner when they've been trying to see him healthy and able to play for the past like 3 or 4 seasons now. I don't expect major contributions from him there. And I said the negative side of the Jeff Green, debate or whatever. What if and Quinn Cook is a smart coach, but what if he goes the other way and just leaves him in, plays him, and it could be a detractor during certain times of the season where they got to get some clutch wins, get their positioning in the right way for the playoff seeding, get a favorable playoff run, not play the Houston Rockets in the first round, something like that. And then Emmanuel Mudiay, not a great efficient shooter. I was really high on him coming into the league because he went overseas at first, came in looking good, playing against some strong European athletes. If that goes the wrong way, also, it could be not as good. They could be a 5th seed. They could have a tough road. to the
Moody is
playoffs.
another one that's kind of
You don't know.
streaky.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, what do you think, Andre?
DPOY,
I
two
think
really
they're-
good point guards.
I haven't even
I
said
think they're pretty.
yeah,
I think
Rudy's
they're
name
pretty
yet.
solid. They're a pretty solid team in the West. Like they're not like you said. They should make the playoffs
Oh, they will.
pretty handily.
If they don't, that'd
Like
be
I don't
really
think they're
disappointing.
overrated.
Yeah.
If anything, they're underrated. Boston, on the other hand, they're probably accurately rated now after last season. Maybe even a little underrated, just because I think with the addition of Kemba, things will be a little bit more cohesive.
Yeah, if I didn't say this in the earlier segment, but if Marcus Smart can get over that calf strain, they've got 4 guys that can play Team USA basketball together and kind of build that cohesion.
Team USA, yeah,
Yeah.
there's 4 Boston
That's
guys
true.
on that team.
Kemba Walker, Jason Tatum, Jalen
Jim
Brown,
Brown,
and
and
Marcus
Marcus Smart,
Jim
yeah.
Brown.
Jim Brown.
Jim
That's what I just
Brown.
said.
Jim Brown just dunking on balls.
And Marcus Smart
Run
all
over
together,
there.
getting that chemistry going together, and you can hear the little I don't want to say barbs, but traps that they're saying in the practice with Jaylen Brown. Like Jaylen Brown's like, how do you feel about practicing with these guys? It's good knowing everyone's gonna kind of be here, build that cohesion, and we don't have anything kind of holding us back from.
I'd be scared. I feel like there's more opportunity for shit to start.
Yeah, exactly. It's tough. I don't know, but yeah.
I don't
So
know.
I think it's the Boston.
I think Boston's
Yeah.
gonna be a better team, don't you think? Yeah.
Yeah, and then unfortunately losing Al Horford,
put-
I think he was.
Oh
more,
yeah, see that's the
more
big
You won't
integral
get any
to-
takes from me on Boston until after the All-Star break.
I
Yeah,
think
playing
they
it
were
this
gonna
safe.
play
You gotta play it safe.
instead of being up and down. They're gonna shoot straight to a fifth seed. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
Not, it's not gonna be like, oh, they're
Yeah.
in the 2,
So-
now they're at the 6.
Yeah, I disagree. I don't think they're overrated. Being called a dark horse is not overrated. It's just saying you're probably going to end up right where you were last year, but you
got
got a
upside.
shot at upsetting some people.
Upsides.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that's all it is, really. All right, last tweet. It's from at NBA_Lord. My personal take on the Lakers is they'll be a playoff team, but beyond that, I don't know. Clippers, Nuggets, Trailblazers, and Utah Jazz are more dangerous, in my opinion. Time will tell if I'm right. So he's saying that the Jazz are actually better than the Lakers.
Lakers, I feel like are kind of a wild card team.
Because you just
Like,
I think
you don't-
LeBron's gonna try to put a lot of games together, but I just still don't know what Anthony Davis is gonna bring to the table in terms of how many games he's gonna start, play all the way through. Like, if he leaves in the fourth quarter with a bum knee, bum ankle a lot, that can lead to a lot of dysfunction as far as the end of games because their roster is not stacked.
Yeah, and then you want to look and see like how much is DeMarcus Cousins going to contribute, right? He's going to be their, I guess their third or fourth scoring option after Kuzma.
And Alex Caruso, the guy.
Oh yeah, that's Caruso, the young guy, Kobe Jr., the White Mamba as they call him. But I don't know, man. I'd like to see that. I mean, obviously, once we get some games under their belt, it'll be easier to make a decision. But that team is, I don't know. If LeBron's healthy, I think they'll do pretty well. But I think he's got one more MVP season in him. So if he's healthy, I'd like to see that from them. But it's a crapshoot, honestly. I wouldn't. That's not a safe bet for me.
Yeah, I think I'll play it safe and say that the Lakers are still going to be the better team, and put them right where I said. Dark horse, you're going to end up in that 4th, 5th spot, have a chance to upset, but the Lakers are still just LeBron and AD. You there's a reason Vegas has them as the second likeliest to win the title. So I'm going to play it safe and say that the Lakers are still going to end up in a better situation at the end of the year.
Yeah, and you got to wonder. I mean, so I'm not saying the Lakers are going to tank or anything. It's probably going to be a very solid team.
Well, they meet
4th
expectations.
seed, 3rd seed. But when you look at the crunch time 5, when they get to the playoffs, you're going to have LeBron James in there, Anthony Davis, probably Danny Green after all the money they paid him.
Boogie.
And then you don't know. As
maybe.
far as defensive limitations go, is it going to be Boogie or is it going to be JaVale McGee? Both of them have limitations that you can exploit as the weakest link on the team. And then Kyle Kuzma, good shooter, kind of streaky, not the best percentages, but he's definitely not afraid to shoot. What's going to happen? Avery Bradley going to slide in there? I'm not as high on Avery Bradley as I once was after he left that Boston system. And then you got Contavious Caldwell-Pope, who actually gets too much heat, I think. I think he's a solid player, pretty good from 3, can handle the ball a little bit.
He had too many minutes last season. I think that's what it was.
And then what? You got Quinn Cook. Like, it's a lot of question marks, and so it could break wrong. So
It could. But I just got to play it safe. It's LeBron and AD.
You don't want to bet against LeBron.
Yeah.
Is kind of what we heard, unless it's last season when he's like, "All right, playoff mode activated," and then they lost like 3 in a row.
It's like, all right,
They
just
didn't lose 3 in
kidding.
a row, bro. They lost like 12 out of the next 15.
Yeah, that was
Man,
not a good look.
Yeah, it was pretty
I
bad.
was just playing.
Cool. So that does it for our Twitter segment. If you'd like us to cover your team, shoot us a message at shotcallersshow. That's at shotcallersshow on Twitter. Forgot to mention this earlier, guys, but if you are listening to this on Apple Podcasts, we got approved as of 3 days ago. So congrats to us.
We
Finally
did it.
happening.
Yeah, I know.
We
Who-
scaled the mountain.
Yeah, who would have
Took
thought it'd
almost
be
a
that
year.
difficult? Really?
Yeah.
Damn, we've been out for.
Yeah, we started last season. So.
Oh wow, yeah. Well, milestones, guys. Milestones after milestones. Last week was our first video on YouTube. So if you're checking us out on YouTube, what's up?
Shot Caller Show Season 2, iTunes all the way through, or Apple Podcasts. Please leave us a like and a review.
Yeah, please leave us the 5 stars if you
5
think we
stars,
deserve
please.
it. And
We do.
that does it for our Twitter segment. Like I said, shoot us a message to shotcallershow@gmail.com if you have a question or like us to cover a particular team. Let's move on to our question of the day. My question to you guys is, who did you mimic your game growing up around?
Mine
when you were growing up, who did you try to be? Everybody wanted to be like Mike, but
yeah.
who did you try to be? Like
I'll go last on this one because mine is probably going to be surprising to you guys.
You want to go first, Andre?
Yeah, I'll go first. All right. So I'm a millennial, so I grew up balling like in the early 2000s. So by then, the star around that time was Allen Iverson.
Allen Iverson. AI.
Number 3.
What moves are you trying to do?
He's trying to break
Cross
ankles.
over.
You trying to hit him?
Everyone's trying to cross. No one cared about the shot, man. We were just trying to
Did you
embarrass
step over, Tyler?
We did. If you got
friends
crossed
to lay
up,
down?
you stepped over. Yep. But nah.
Did you destroy the locker room chemistry? I'm just kidding.
No, we didn't do that. But no, I had the braids. Like when I was on the basketball team, everyone was fighting to be number 3. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
I had
pretty
the
cool.
Iversons. Like, that was just the man. Yeah, and back then the handle was everything. You just want to cross someone over.
That's true, right? It's crazy how the NBA shapes how people play in the streets.
Dude,
Because you were trying to cross people over. Now dudes are trying to shoot from the freaking logo.
Step back threes.
Yeah,
like,
step back threes.
as soon as I saw Michael Jordan go up with one hand, go down to the left, go down, trade to the left, and go up again, I went right outside and tried it. It didn't work. I couldn't
you
stand
can't do
it.
that.
I
You
couldn't
can't
stay
float
in the air that long.
No, exactly. I was like, how did they do that? But yeah, so you definitely go out and try to mimic it.
Yeah.
NBA, I was gonna say NBA players can't even do that. So it's like, what?
but I tried, man.
It's just like free throw line. Lay it in.
What about you, JV? What do you got?
Yeah.
I tried to mimic, and this was, I hooped when I was young, but when I actually, I want to say serious, but I actually like tried and practiced dribbling, free throws, and all that stuff. I tried to mimic. I was never a really great shooter, still am not. So I had to rely on playing in the paint. It's probably why I like to see more of the old school game. But I would say Paul Gasol. I really, I work, I'd back dudes down and then go free throw line, hook. And that's kind of what I tried to do.
Okay.
I always like watching Paul Gasol. He's the reason they won those titles, man.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, yeah.
Super underrated.
So I tried to be like him.
He's getting his. He's gonna be the next Laker to get his jersey retired before LeBron.
He should. He definitely should. But yeah, that was who I tried to play. Just back down. That's why I like LaMarcus Aldridge. He'll
No, yeah.
he'll
I
go
know.
post, back up.
Back
He
up.
has a nice little fadeaway. I never really got that.
Mhm.
It was more so I'm either going baseline, free throw, and putting it up on the board. And then I was huge on rebounding, which the big men do. So
Yeah.
definitely. Paul Gasol.
Playing pickup, like when I started to try to play with the guys on the street, when I was like, man, basketball is pretty cool. I was a little chunky, fifth grader or whatever, and I was like, man, I want to lose some weight, play some basketball. I was terrible, had no shot, but I guess as I got a little more fit, I was pretty quick. And so this is back in the days of MySpace, and I changed my whole layout to be Dwayne Wade themed. I wanted to be Dwayne Wade for sure, and this is like 2006.
Oh no!
Yeah, exactly.
Get out of here, Richard.
And I had
Get out and don't come back.
I had Dwayne Wade layup wizardry compilations from YouTube.
How conflicted were you in those finals?
Featured on my MySpace
Oh
page.
my god!
Because dude, he was like halfway upside down, flipping the ball up at the rim and getting it to go in. Like they called him the Wizard before he was the Flash. And look, JV's looking all.
There you go. I mean,
he's simmering over there.
can't
but-
judge you for what you did as a child.
And so,
I can't.
but yeah. So I mean, I tried to do everything. Like I had
Did you have Dwayne Wade on your top friends?
No, I didn't. But I was at the, right at the wing, and I tried to have an explosive first step. So I tried to get past the guys, go straight to the rim, try to get some acrobatic layups going. And so it was all about trying to use my quickness. And I was like playing really good defense and trying to swipe the ball and get in kind of a transition fast break kind of game because I didn't have like the tall length to get, finish over guys or anything. So I had to be crafty, and he was pretty crafty. And then the championship happened, and
were you crafty? Were you like on defense too? You're
yeah,
like,
exactly.
He's very like
crawling.
Exactly. He's opportunistic, and that's
What
what
do you call it?
try to be
Scrappy,
too.
I guess.
Yeah, scrappy.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what it was. And then 2006 happened, and Mavericks were up 2-0 and then got swept, and it was a rough time. And I left the page up because I was too, I guess, depressed.
Did you get any hate for that?
Yeah, I did. People were asking me what was going on all the time, and I was like, "What, man? It's just the layups. I just like the layups."
Just like the
Like the
layup.
layup.
I'm just as sad as you.
There's a guy on there's a guy on Instagram that has like millions of followers, and all he does is fancy layups.
Oh,
Oh
okay,
my
never
God.
mind.
Like he'll jump and like do 2 spins like a 720 and then just
720 layup.
throw it behind his back and it like goes
Hey,
in.
dude, it's harder than you think.
And he gets to meet like all these stars because of it. I'm like,
What?
dude, man,
I
why
wanna-
don't we think of this stuff?
I wanna be like-
I probably couldn't do it, but why don't we like it's
Or
crazy.
You
Man.
can be that guy that
I
just
should put my
imitates
time
all the
into
other
that.
players.
Oh yeah, that's a dot, B dot, something like that.
Exactly.
He's pretty hilarious.
So yeah, that's mine.
Wow. Well, I mean, you can't hate on his game. He's an amazing athlete.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah, top 5 shooting guard all time.
Did it look as flashy as this?
I think it did.
Did you ever
from
drain
my
a shot and
from
then,
my point of view? No, I didn't do it like
drained
that.
a game winner?
I did more the Converse slogan that he had: fall down 7 times, get up 8. I was on the ground all the time.
Ah, gotcha.
I got up like him.
There's no fouls in like street ball.
Yeah, you don't call it. You just get up.
You can call it, but ain't nobody gonna
Yeah,
do it.
nobody
Nobody
cares.
respects it.
You
Exactly.
get
Yeah.
the ball back. Who cares?
Yeah, if you guys have your favorite player that you try to imitate on the streets, let us know. Shoot us a message again at Twitter at Shotcallers Show. That's at Shotcallers Show. We'd love to see who people on the
Send us
streets.
videos of you trying it, and
That'd be
see,
awesome.
we'll try to see who it is.
Yeah, if you send us a video of you
Yo,
trying, we'll put it
try
up
and
on the
guess.
feed and share it with everybody.
Oh yeah, exactly.
If I see a bank shot,
You gotta
it's
call
Tim
Glass.
Duncan.
Oh yeah.
Or call game, like Paul Pierce.
If somebody sent us a video of Tim Duncan, I don't even think they'd have to tell us. We just know. We
just give us
know.
this look,
And then go laugh when you're on the bench and get
Yeah.
ejected.
and then we'll
Yeah.
eject you.
Awesome. Okay, that does it for that segment or our question of the day. Last but not least, I want to wrap up with some fan mail.
Ooh.
So DJ sends us a couple of messages, actually. He sent us a lot of questions, so we're going to save some of them and go 2 at a time. So the first 2 are going to be, will De'Aaron Fox be an all-star next year? And what guys do you see panning out for Trae Young's second year?
I think De'Aaron Fox.
Or what do we see panning out for Trae Young's second year?
I think
Sorry.
De'Aaron Fox can definitely be an all-star this year, depending on what star is, unfortunately ineligible due to like an unfortunate injury or, not playing enough games before the start of whatever. Like if Paul George comes back before Christmas, he's not going to, like right before Christmas, he's not going to be eligible for the all-star game in the West. It's loaded. But if De'Aaron Fox comes back in another year where the team got the draft around him, see what he is good at, being healthy, fastest guy with the ball, took that spot over John Wall. He gets a team that can really showcase his skills. And with these games where, it's like you were saying, they're starting at a more opportune time for everyone to watch, get that popular vote in. He's got a great nickname, Swipe of the Fox. He's got a great NBA star
That's
name,
awesome.
De'Aaron Fox. Just
Yeah.
Fox. I want to be like him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think he definitely has a shot. He's got the cachet. He's got the exciting looking game. And if things break right as far as like who gets voted in, who doesn't, he could be an injury replacement.
Yeah.
That's what you need. Look at D'Angelo Russell. He was an injury replacement.
Yeah.
So that could definitely happen to him, and he makes an all-star game. So yeah, DJ, great job, great pick, and I like your taste in basketball players.
Andre?
Yeah,
Stacked West. Do you think he makes
it's
it?
a stacked West, and the guard position is always hard. But
That's true.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Rich there. So maybe as an injury replacement, if the Kings start off well, stay in the playoff contention towards the All-Star break, I can see it happening. But man, if he's got a lot of contention, man. You got Donovan Mitchell, who's also same draft class,
Yeah.
he's gonna be right there with them, fighting for that position.
Yeah.
You got D'Angelo Russell. If the Warriors are looking good with him instead of Klay Thompson, that's another contender.
I don't see. Not to say that that's incorrect or anything, but I just don't think we're going to see 3 representatives from that team like we have in years past, or 4 representatives.
Oh,
from
yeah,
that team.
no, I agree, but
Oh, but no Clay.
it could be happening.
But no Clay.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
no
you're
Klay.
right. I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
I think that he does make it because guys are going to do the same thing that they're doing with Team USA and start sitting out All-Star games.
Wow.
You think so? Oh my god.
I withdraw from
I
the
don't
All-Star game.
wanna be
I
an
don't want to be
All-Star.
on Team LeBron.
Keep this
year.
money. I don't want it.
Pretty much. No, I think I don't think he makes it. It's too stacked. This is the
It is
most
the West.
stacked
Yeah.
it's,
It's-
probably ever been.
As a famous podcaster, Ben Golliver says, he says the East is AAA, and the West is the show. So,
Yeah, exactly.
Too tough to make it.
Oh,
in the
that's a
show.
really good comparison.
Yeah.
No,
So-
yeah, I don't think he makes it. As talented as he is, I think Buddy
It's
Hield
just
will
too
elevate his
hard.
game. He's a great wing shooter. Buddy Hield is. That'll make it easier for De'Aaron Fox to play his game. I think Marvin Bagley only gets better, and that's going to be the key. If Marvin Bagley can be a real threat on the inside, he's going to allow De'Aaron Fox to slash and on the cuts and get his buckets
Right.
and highlights kind of get you the votes. So, but it's going to be up to the players.
And
Highlights and wins.
H Barnes is going to be sucking up all the shots. There's going to be no chance.
Oh
Yeah.
man, just taking the ball
Harrison,
and
That's
throwing it
true.
up.
Forgot about
It's like when he
Harrison.
took that shot from
That's
Steph
a
Curry.
definite no.
When he took that shot from Steph Curry in the finals, Steph Curry's open right there, and Harrison Barnes like, I got a family.
It's all on me.
I got a family to feed. Brick.
He just get that max contract, right?
Yeah.
Or
You got it that
Huge
season,
contract.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
off season.
Buddy Hield's eligible for his rookie extension too.
Yeah.
yeah.
What's about the second? We had a
The
second,
second
part of the
question is, what do you guys see panning out for Trae Young's second year?
So he had kind of a slow start last year, and it seemed like the Luka Doncic kind of comparisons fired him up, and he had guys hitting shots all around him. The best thing that I can say for him is that I think he won't be plagued by the injury bug in his season. I feel good about him playing a lot of games, and with the guys that they've been able to draft around him, I think it'll just be positive. I think he's going to develop that shot. And I was hearing from their coach in an interview after Team USA practice that they're going to try to get him more off ball. Travis Schlenk saying that he's our Steph Curry. People want to say, oh, it's not that easy to just be the Warriors. It's not that easy to just generate a Steph Curry and be the Warriors in, Central America without Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, the best backcourt that they can get. But, being successful in the way that Steph Curry is, even if you aren't a wonderfully gifted.
That's how it works, man.
Just magic. But if you're
Steph
not
Curry,
if you're not as gifted at shooting off the dribble like he is, you can still put in the work off ball and be a threat when someone else is handling it. And if he can do that, I think he will, and I think he'll be a success. I think he's gonna achieve what he wants to achieve this season.
I think with the added weight, it's like we said last week, it's gonna allow him to go to the rim a little bit harder. I think they make the playoffs.
What
in the 8th seed?
Yeah.
In the 8th seed in the East.
Maybe.
I think they do. I think with the guys who drafted this year and just that him elevating if he carries that momentum from the second half of the season and he
Over
does
to
that
this
all
season,
season, I think they can win the terrible East.
I mean, Detroit got in 41-41 last year.
Yeah. So
some years you can get in with a losing record over there.
I think the Hawks will make it.
I think they have a chance. Like you said, the weight gain, especially if he's adding off-ball movement, he'll be a little bit better. Working on his mid-range. And with the weight gain, he's trying to focus on finishing towards the rim a little bit more. So yeah, with the additions of the new draft picks, and sorry, Dylan, and the way he moves the ball around, like he's a smart player. He knows how to make the right play. So I think with all that combined, plus his new scoring abilities, he should do pretty well. So I'd like to see some good improvement. Maybe 8th seed.
I don't know about the playoffs, but I'm still.
I'm going playoffs.
Maybe 8th seed. It's like the 8th
now.
seed in the East is like a wild card. Like
that's
you
how I
act
think they
like
can do it.
there's no solid picks there, so I can see it happen.
Yeah, for sure. That does it for our fan mail. He has some more questions that he's down here. We'll save those for next week because there's quite a few on here. Appreciate it,
that, DJ.
Keep it coming, man. It's definitely not a problem to have too many questions.
Mm-hmm.
Keep them coming. If you'd like to send us a question, shoot us a message on Twitter at shotcallersshow. Send us an email to shotcallersshow@gmail.com. Leave a comment on YouTube.
Plug the question into the review that you put on iTunes.
There you
and
go.
we will talk about it at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, you can leave it in the comment section. Yep. You can comment on reviews.
Well, you can your review.
Leave
you
a
rate
review,
it, and then
yeah.
you write the review.
Perfect.
It is.
You can do it
put that
wherever
right
you
in
want.
there.
Whatever's easiest for you. We will make sure to get to it, and you can be on our next show. But for now,
well, let's get all the feeds out there. Follow us on Instagram.
Follow us on Twitter.
Shotcallers.
Instagram _shotcallers. Yes,
_shotcallers,
get our little early sneak peek of our this episode or next episode. Every episode, you'll get a sneak peek of the episode.
Custom content with Bella, the podcast hound.
Yep, and follow us on Twitter at shotcallershow. YouTube, search these Shotcallers. Help us get to 100 subscribers so we can get our URL out there. Like I said, if you're not listening to us on Apple Podcasts, we are available on Apple Podcasts. These Shotcallers. Please leave us a review. We'd like to grow the show.
And then we got Twitter at shotcallersshow and Gmail, the inbox, shotcallersshow@gmail.com.
Definitely. As always, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Until next time, I'm JV.
I'm Rich Buckshot Bustos.
And this is Andre Cool Whip West.
And we're the Shotcallers. See y'all next time.